All right, Rick Saratella from the NFL Draft Bible joining us to break down the offensive side of the ball with the NFL Draft just about a month away. Wide receivers, people are always into wide receivers, the freakish athletes out there. Can you take us down the board and who you like there?
Yeah, I think, I like Calvin Ridley for my money. I know a lot has been made about his age and, he'll be a 25-year-old rookie, I think it is, or a 24-year-old rookie. But for my bang for the buck, I mean, this is a guy that's going to come in, make an immediate impact. I know the Cowboys, I think, just signed a wide receiver in free agency, but I take a look at a situation right there where, plug and play. I think he could be the wide receiver number one there in Dallas. I think they're picking number 19. And then it gets a little bit interesting. It's really what's your flavor, what's your scheme, what's your style of play. A guy like Cortland Sutton from SMU, I mean, I really came around on him at the Combine. I had some similar questions about his speed, similar to Alshon Jeffrey coming out. I saw everything I wanted to see. I had some questions about his, short area separation, but there's no doubt in my mind he could be a tremendous playmaker at the next level. And then Christian Kirk from Texas A&M, you talk about what he brings to the table. How high, I think he projects as a slot wideout at the next level. How high does an NFL team value a slot wideout? We saw Deshaun Jackson go pretty relatively high a few years back as a slot wideout prospect. So Christian Kirk is up there at the top for me, along with Deion Kane from Clemson. I think he's a guy that got lost in the mix. Kind of disappointing season this past year in terms of what he was projected to do, but still, I think one of the most well-rounded wide receivers in this year's draft class when you talk about hands, route running ability, and then Equanimous St. Brown from Notre Dame. And Mark, I've been plugging this segment. HBO should give me a endorsement deal. I've been promoting this segment so much, but I think it's a must-see. If you haven't seen it, you think LeVar Ball and that family is crazy. Equanimous St. Brown, he comes from a similar family, two other younger brothers. He's going to be the first one going pro, but his father is even crazier, and that Real Sports HBO segment is something to see. DJ Moore from Maryland, here's a guy we've been very high on him at the NFL Draft Bible. Suddenly, you hear him talk about possibly the first round for the Maryland wide receiver. DJ Moore really had a great combine workout, and DJ Chark from LSU, another speed burner. Him and his teammate Dante Jackson there from LSU, two of the fastest 40-yard dash times. And a couple other guys I want to touch base on. A Michael Gallup from Colorado State, probably a day 2, day 3 guy that is going to outplay some of these guys. We haven't talking about James Washington from Oklahoma State, obviously a very highly productive collegiate player. But I'll leave you with this last one. Antonio Callaway from Florida. There's people here at the NFL Draft Bible who believe this guy could possibly be the best wide receiver in this year's draft class. And it's going to be interesting to see because the Chiefs rolled the dice with the Tyreek Hill a few years back, I think 5th or 6th round. Character concerns. We all know that the gamble was worth the reward. It paid huge dividends. Where does a team slot in Antonio Callaway? You heard him speak at the Combine. Maybe you didn't. Mixed emotions in terms of whether or not he has really learned from the past. And I think that, his skill set is round 1. His off the field may knock him down to day 3. But if I'm an NFL team, I'm thinking about him round 2 or round 3.
I was just talking to my Florida guy, David Waters from Gators Breakdown yesterday, and he was comparing Van Jefferson, who's an Ole Miss transfer to Florida just in the last couple months, to Antonio Callaway. And the Florida coach is saying that Antonio Callaway stepped on the field more ready to play wide receiver at the collegiate level than anybody that they had ever seen. So it's been that easy for him on the field, and he's messed it up off the field and put himself in this position. DJ Chark, as you mentioned at the Combine, made himself some money because he really showed out. And if you look at, I think you phrased it perfectly coming out of the gate in terms of the wide receiver position. It's not like, wow, that's the guy. There's 3 of them or whatever. It's kind of pick your poison and pick your benefits. So looking at each one, there's some kind of speed concern or size concern or productivity concern, or there's other things that show up for each one of these guys as you go down the list of the wide receivers coming out in this year's NFL Draft. All right, Rick Saratella, NFL Draft Bible. Love the name. Go check him out right there for the very best in NFL draft coverage with the big festivities coming up in just about a month, Rick. This is your
Unbelievable.
time.
Oh, my God. You're giving me agita, Mark.
All right, Rick, you have a great day, and we'll catch up soon.
Sounds good. Always glad to talk NFL draft with you, and hopefully we get to knock out a few more segments.